Hello, everyone. Common Sense right here. Today, we're going to be taking a look at BBC, the news article, not the other thing. Haha. Anyways, if you guys didn't know, BBC was caught in a pretty bad little smear they did against Donald Trump. They very maliciously and specifically edited clips together to make Trump look like this just awful human being that is inciting violence. Very, very terrible. And the truth is, it couldn't be further from the truth. And this was actually in a documentary, which makes it 10 times worse. So, we're going to be looking at the apology because this is very serious and malicious. Like I said, this was in a documentary, so this goes a little bit. This is a bit of a further step than the typical shenanigans that BBC typically likes to pull on their show.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
So this goes a little step further than that. But anyways, Trump threatened to sue them for I think $1 billion. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, so Trump actually threatened to sue BBC for $1 billion for this. And BBC actually issued an apology. This is from their website. This was 18 hours ago. So we're going to go to it here. Okay. BBC apologizes to Trump over Panorama edit, but refuses to pay composition. So after Trump, after Trump went on the offensive, right? Guys, I'm so sorry. This is some ice cold water. Man, is it good. Anyways, after Trump went on the offensive, threatened to sue them for $1 billion, BBC, of course, apologized. Like, we're so sorry, Donald Trump, for making you out that you incited political violence and typical BBC shenanigans. So they, of course, had to issue an apology, but they stand pretty firm as of right now that they are not going to compensate whatsoever, even though this is the type of rhetoric that leads to the left side being overly indulgent and accepting of political violence towards us. When a giant mainstream news network maliciously edits a video in such a way to incite that the president of the entire United States is inciting political violence and inciting any violence at all towards, the entire separate left side, that's the type of rhetoric that tells these people it's okay to incite political violence on the right side because Trump talked about it and he incited it towards us. This is the type of rhetoric that is super dangerous, and it is only talked about from the left. The left is constantly talking and articulating how it's acceptable to call us these awful terms to make it okay to then assassinate us and commit these heinous, horrendous, and terrible, degenerate acts towards us conservatives. This is the type of rhetoric that you only really see on one side, and it is progressives, it is Democrats, it is liberals. It's the entire left side. It's not us whatsoever, and I stand pretty firm in that. So we're gonna go over this a little bit. So the BBC has apologized to U.S. President Donald Trump for a Panorama episode that spliced parts of his January 6, 2021 speech together, but rejected his demands for compensation. The corporation said the edit had given the mistaken impression that the President Trump had made a direct call for violent action and said it would not show the 2024 program again. So, I mean, that is not just a silly oopsie. That is, I mean, a direct, just heinous, um, just disgusting and vile act from BBC's part. I mean, that's not a mistake. That's such a malicious and very specific action that they did. So lawyers for Trump had threatened to sue BBC for $1 billion in damages unless the corporation issues a retraction, apologizes, and compensates him. But as we know, BBC is not looking to compensate. Culture Secretary Lisa Nandy told BBC Breakfast she was confident the corporation was gripping this with the seriousness that it demands, adding her role was to ensure the highest standards are upheld. But she also told BBC Radio 4's Today program that the BBC editorial standards and guidelines were in some cases not robust enough and in other cases not consistently applied, adding that there would need to be people at a very senior level with a journalistic background. Political appointments to the corporation's board would be examined in the BBC's charter review, she said in response to a question asking if a member, Sir Robbie Gibb, a former political advisor to Theresa May, had overstepped his remit and weighed into politics. So that's a little bit where we're up to. BBC is very nasty, heinous, malicious with the way they did this. Trump, of course, wants to sue. They, of course, said no, but we actually got updated 3 hours ago. So this is on Grand News. Grand News is such a great place to get left and right and center unbiased takes and media coverage on things that are happening around the world. So I tend to read a couple of articles from all the sides, see what they're saying, and see what's really going on. So Trump says he will take legal action against BBC despite the apology. Former President Donald Trump says he still intends to take legal action against the BBC and plans to sue for anywhere between $1 billion and $5 billion, probably next week. I can't wait to see that, honestly. Following the Panorama edit, Trump's lawyers demanded a retraction, apology, and compensation, threatened to sue for $1 billion. BBC responded at 22 GMT on Friday. BBC apologized but refused to pay. And the controversy prompted the resignations of BBC Director General Tim Davie and Head of News Deborah Turnus on Sunday. So far, no filings appear in federal or public records. Searches of public court record databases and pasters show no case filed by the Trump administration. With courts closed for the weekend in Florida, Trump said he would raise the issue with the UK Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, over the weekend. And then, of course, we scroll down. These are just all the news coverages. Here's one from BBC themselves. Very interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. I'm definitely going to be keeping a watchful eye. It's honestly, I'm glad BBC had it coming. These main news networks are just filling just lies, propaganda, malicious edits, and just like the intent is there. You know what their intentions are, and it's fully disgusting. And they need to be held accountable, and they need to be way more transparent on the garbage that they throw out on, onto the main news networks and on the media itself and on the internet. So, I mean, honestly, though, if we want to look after the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk, I could honestly see Trump winning this in court because, like I said, I've played the video. Y'all have seen it. It is a really, really bad and heinous edit. I mean, it is so bad and blatant once you see it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. They know what they were doing. It was very blatant. It was very schmeary and just such a terrible, terrible attempt. And like I said, after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, it's really easy to see this rhetoric taken to the extreme. Because as we know, let's not kid ourselves, most of the Democratic side, they have a lot, and I truly do mean a lot of people with mental illnesses. right? I mean, let's not beat around the bush. They do. And when you're using this nasty rhetoric, essentially saying, kill before you be killed, kill or be killed, what is that going to tell these mentally ill people who are falsely being told that they need to stand up and fight like hell before they're the ones being killed? And this type of propaganda and rhetoric is why you see so much hatefulness on mainly the left side, like over the vast majority on the left side. Why you see so much hate filled rhetoric on the left side, how they literally hate conservatives guts. They want us gone. This is the type of evil rhetoric that led to the assassination of the great, noble, legendary Charlie Kirk. And this is the type of garbage that needs done away in America. But let me know what you guys think about this situation. Like I said, I'm gonna be pretty adamant on keeping up to date with it and keeping tabs with it. Like I said, let me know what you guys thought about the video. Please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. It'd help the channel out a lot. Feel free to email us at commonsenseright21@gmail.com. Follow the TikTok under the same name. Links will be in the description. Guys, Jesus Christ is King. Repent and believe in the gospel. Hope you guys have a beautiful day or night, whatever it may be. God bless you all. Have a fantastic day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.